Everybody, welcome back to another episode of A Gardener's Journey Homestead. I'm in the tunnel and I'm excited because on this video I'm sharing with you two new exciting things and I cannot wait to tell you. So I got two new exciting things to tell you, so that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. But first, let's talk about this weather. I'm in the tunnel. You still got a jacket on. It's cold outside and the temperatures are dropping. For the next 4 nights, we're gonna have below freezing temperatures. So I'm in the tunnel actually rolling everything down, closing everything up, try to trap some heat in here. It's 50 degrees in here right now, which is pretty good. Because I had one side up and I had, I had both sides up, and then I also had the door open as well. So I just came in from out there. It feels much better in here than it does out there. And then I'm going to water everything and give it a good soak. A lot of times, if you can water your plants, the day of the freeze, it'll help insulate their cell walls. Now they're gonna be fine because they're gonna be in the tunnel. I think the lowest I saw it's gonna get is 23, and they should be just dandy because everything in here is cool weather, so it should be just fine. I think even the lettuce should be okay. So, but I'm gonna water everything just because with it being cold over the next few days, I don't want to water it. I try not to water when the temperature is 40 or below. So since it's like 50 something now, 54, I'm gonna go ahead and water everything, and that'll be good to kind of ride out this cold spell. The weather has been all over the place this week. So for those that are brand new to me, I'm in zone 7A. I'm in Tennessee. And our weather is bipolar. It really is. One day is 75, the next day is 30. You can't keep up. Earlier this week I had to cover my onions. So I have 2 beds of onions planted now. And I still have a bed to go, but the weather has been so tricky. Either it's been too cold or it's been raining. Like yesterday was like a monsoon. It was raining hard here. So the weather's been all over the place. So it's been hard to do a lot of things outside on a consistent basis, but that's the way it goes. But let me tell you, I'm ready for spring/summer. Like, I'm ready for consistent weather. I'm ready, for warmer temperatures. I'm over the 30 degrees. I mean, give me 60 to 80 degrees and I can play in those areas. I'm tired of the 30s and the 20s and all of that. So it's mid-March. So hopefully better temperatures are on the way. But I hope you guys are having a good day. So let me tell you exciting news number 1. We have a farm name. Yes. So I'm excited because we have not had a farm name. Now of course this channel is called A Gardener's Journey Homestead, and I think that I will continue that just because that's what people know me by, and I don't even know if it's hard to change it or not. I don't know. But anyway, we now have a name for the farm. So you guys know that we're going to try to sell some produce from our farm this year. Nothing like, we're not going to farmers markets, we're not doing anything major big like that, but we are going to sell to our local community, friends, and just have where people can come and shop here and buy what they need. We're going to try it out. And so when you're doing that, you kind of have to have a farm name, right? And then also to label our products and all that stuff. So the name of our new farm is Living Foods Farm. I'm so excited. So it took us a minute for my husband and I to agree on a name. And I will tell you, let me tell you the name one more time. Living Foods Farm. I got some work going on behind me. So if you hear some noise, that's what that is. Living Foods Farm. I'm so excited. And that was not my first choice. It was my husband's first choice. But now it's kind of grown on me. And I really like the name. Y'all let me know in the comments if you like the name. If you don't like it, then just keep quiet. You know what I'm saying? You know how your mom used to say, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say it at all. But no, for real. If you like the name, let me know. I would love to hear your feedback, okay? So one of the things with choosing a farm name, of course you can use your last name. We thought about that, but I'm like, no. Then you try to think about, okay, well, what's, on your land, so to speak? Is there a babbling brook? Is there a, hills and mountains? Like what, all the things, right? But then also you want to be able to have a domain name for your farm. And so some of the names that we wanted, the domain was taken. And so that was kind of like we weren't going to do that, right? Because we want the name of the farm to have a website, right? Where people can see what we offer. You know, you got to have some type of online presence. And so we couldn't do that with some of the names. So we went through, I would say probably at least 10 to 15 names that we considered, that we liked. And the domain wasn't available, or it just didn't rank as high. Some names were available, and we went ahead and bought the domain just to kind of snag it, save it. We've been thinking about this over the last, I don't know, 3 to 4 months. And so it was down, we finally got down to like 2 names. Now, the name that was my first pick was the Pepper Preserve. I love that name. Now, do we grow more than peppers? We do. Are we going to sell more than peppers? We will. But something about that name, I just loved it. And so we had this thing in my family with me, my husband, and my kids. Whenever like we're trying to decide on something, we'll send it out to the whole family and we'll let everybody vote, so to speak, right? Without telling each other what our vote is. So y'all, I sent out the Pepper Preserve and Living Foods Farm to my 2 children. And of course, my husband, he had already told me, he's like, I like Living Foods better. He's like, I like the Pepper Preserve, but he's like, it's kind of limiting. We're going to do more than peppers. But I'm like, I know it didn't have to be that specific. I just like the Pepper Preserve. I just think that's cute. So I sent it out to the kids. They both picked Living Foods. So I'm looking at my husband all side-eyed. I'm like, why they always siding with you? Then I sent it out to a few more friends. Everybody picked Living Foods. And so even though I do the most on the farm and everybody knows like this is my thing, so to speak, I also know the things that I'm not really good at. And I know that when it comes to things that's not in my lane, my husband is usually right. He's usually like, you know, right on it. And my daughter, like, she's really, really good. And so I'm like, if everybody is picking, there was one person, I take that back. There was one person that picked Pepper Preserve with me. One out of like, I think we asked maybe 6 people. Wasn't a whole lot. There was only one person. Everybody else picked Living Foods. And so, oh, and then we had the debate of Living Food or Living Foods. Okay, we ended up with Living Foods Farm. It was either Living Food Farms with an S, which I don't like that because I'm like, we have one farm, or Living Foods. Anyway, it's Living Foods Farm. That is the new name of the farm. That's how we'll be branded. I even have an email address, y'all. It's Barbara@Living Foods Farm. Because a lot of you have said, hey, what's your email address? What's your email address? I got an email address now. I have to add it to the description so that you guys, you know, if for some reason you need to contact me or somebody need to contact me, they can do that. So it's Living Foods Farm, okay? Because we are selling and we are growing living foods. We'll be selling microgreens, herbs, and produce. Those are the 3 things that we're going to be selling and producing on our farm, okay? So anyway, if everybody else was picking Living Foods, I just knew I need to get on board and not hold on to my Pepper Preserve. That's another thing my husband said. It's too hard to say. Not hard for me to say. So that is exciting change number 1. We have a name. So I think I'll keep A Gardener's Journey Homestead, you know, as the name of the YouTube page, and that's my handle. But if you follow me on Instagram, which I don't do as much on Instagram as I do here, because why, y'all? Because you know I work. I got a business. This is like my side thing. And I just don't have time to post as much on Instagram. But I've changed my Instagram handle to Living Foods Farm. So if you see that, it's still me. We just changed the handle over there. But so maybe from now on, I'll introduce myself as Barbara from Living Foods Farm. Yay! Okay, so that's exciting change number 1. The next exciting change that I want to tell you guys about, and I'm going to actually show you, is that, okay, y'all know on the outside garden. So for those that are new, let me catch you up. In terms of our growing spaces, we have 5 raised beds behind our house. That's when I started gardening in April 2020, right? 5 raised beds. The next year, we added a tunnel, a high tunnel. So my tunnel is 30 by 96. Then, and so that was in 21. Last year in 22, I added an in-ground growing space that is 20 by 100. So I have about, you know, a good, almost close to 5,000 square feet of growing space. It's a lot. And so y'all know that we started the in-ground garden space last year. Y'all know that also we talked about building a fence, right? My husband put up, like, I don't know, 5 T-posts. That's as far as we got, right? We never ever built the fence. And by God's grace, none of our stuff ever got eaten. Now, of course, I have 2 dogs, so they do run the deer, right? But there's times when the dogs are in the back of the house and the deer may come out in the front. But literally, it's only by God's provision that the deer or animals didn't eat our food. Like, it was out in the open all summer long. But I'm like, grace is grace. Let us not take advantage of grace, right? And so I didn't want to just say, well, you know what, it's going to be fine. The dogs will always keep the deer away. I've been seeing the deer get closer and closer and closer to the high tunnel, which the in-ground garden is right outside the high tunnel. And I'm like, and you know, dogs, I mean, they protect the house, and wherever I am, that's where they are. Like, they're sitting right outside this high tunnel right now. Wherever I am, that's where they are. But of course, when I'm in the bed sleep, you know, they're on the front of the house. I mean, they're roaming. Point is, I'm like, if the deer eat my food, I'm going to be devastated. So we finally have a fence for the garden. It is, I would say, 75% complete. Now, we didn't build it because clearly we haven't had the time, because it said all summer and it didn't get built. So we have somebody that has built it for us. So let me, and I'll take you around and let you see some of the shots of it. So let me kind of explain to you what we did, because I hear raindrops. And he's out there still working, making a lot of noise. So I don't want to take you out there prematurely so you won't be able to hear me. So let me tell you all the deets in here. So the garden in ground garden space was 20 by 100. We added an additional 20 feet. So now the space is 40 by 100. So the reason why I added the space is, one, because I want to have a watermelon patch separate from how I did it last year. So last year I had 7 rows in my in-ground garden, and row 7 was the watermelon and cantaloupe. And y'all know that watermelon, they just sprawl, they, you know, all that. And I had watermelon and it did good, but it wasn't just not enough space. Like, it was not enough space. And so I want to give it at least 3 feet of its own space. So they can try to just be away, a little bit away from everything else, and just kind of have its own dedicated area. And then also, if I wanted to do potatoes or something in ground, I have the space to do that. Then the other additional space is so that the tractor can come in and, you know, till up the ground and stuff, because the additional 20 feet is just grass right now. Like, it hasn't been worked, it hasn't been tilled or anything like that, because again, it's additional space. It's not space that we used last year. And so we built the garden fence, or he's building the garden fence. It's 40 by 100. So, and so we kept with the T-post. So we have T-posts, and then we have wire going all the way around on the sides. And then in the front we have a 4 feet gate, a 4 feet door, that's, you know, with the hinges and stuff, that is closest to the tunnel, so I can go into the garden, you know, right there on the end. And then on the other side, we have 2 6 feet gates that kind of open like this, so that the tractor can come in, the lawnmower can come in, you know, like, because I don't even know that my plan is to get it ready for this summer to do the watermelons, but in case I don't, it's still gonna need to be cut until it's ready. But we went ahead and built the fence around that perimeter so that when I need the space, I have it. And then there's also gonna be 2 6-foot gates on the back of the fence as well, that'll open like this, that we can pull equipment through. So let me take you and show you. Did y'all hear that gunshot? My husband and some of his friends are doing clay shooting on the property. So they're like up on top of the hill, but I can hear it down here. What was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. Anyway, let me go take and show you. I'm afraid, you know, you'll at least be able to see the door, the gate, and all that. But, you know, like looking at wires, sometimes it's hard to see. But anyway, let's go outside. Let's take a look at my new garden fence. Okay, y'all, look at my gate. Look at my fence. Okay, so this is the 4-foot door I was telling you about. So he framed it in wood. And, you know, I got me a little latch. Let me just show you. Let me be Vanna. Look at that. So I can just walk through the door just like that. Okay, so you can see that. Then I'll try to pan. So on the front side, we did cattle panels, but on the other side, you'll see we have some smaller wire. My husband thought it would look better with the cattle panels on the front. So it kind of goes all the way around. Let me walk you down here and you can see, y'all, this is big. So you can see here the new area. So here is of course where the garden ended before. This is the 20-foot mark, and then all of this over here is the additional 20 feet. So you can see we have two, these are six feet gates that open basically. Yeah. Okay, so it opens just like this. So you guys can get the idea. You can get the idea. And then there will be one that's identical on the opposite side. So let me see if I can walk you down here. So you can see it comes all the way down here. We have the wood post on the end just for more support, and I just thought that it would look better to give a defining mark of the fence. But you can see here as I go around to the side, you can see that we have different wire here. You can kind of see that there. Okay, y'all, what you think? What do you think? I like it. I'm just glad that my stuff is going to be protected as much as possible. Still got to trust God, because can deer jump the fence? Yes, they can. And I've heard, you know, and the fence is 6 feet tall. I've heard that they can clear 8 feet. But I pray that this is a deterrent enough that's going to keep them from getting my stuff. Plus the dogs will be out here and all of that good stuff. So I'm excited about my new garden fence. So what do y'all think? Do you think I should paint the doors on the front, or should I just keep them as natural wood? Put some comments down below. I don't know. Should I just keep them as is? Let me know your thoughts. It's cold out here, y'all. The wind is picking up. Those are my two new exciting changes. We're so excited. Let me go ahead and end this because it's cold. I can feel it like cutting through my face. And I'm gonna water my stuff on the inside of the tunnel. But thank you guys so much for joining me today. I'm excited about the things. And I'm so glad to go on this journey with you guys. Remember, this is all a journey. No matter what, let's grow together. I'll see you next time, friend.